If you're someone who rotates between Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, and meme coins, and you've just flatlined your portfolio for the past 2 years, this breakdown is for you. Because I would also feel frustrated if I watched my portfolio make 20% swings month to month, while I watched other investors on X post returns of being up 200%, 300% on assets that I haven't even heard of. I get that because I know most crypto investors don't track the asymmetric opportunities like what I'm going to explain to you right now. I've been tracking a network that's gone from 300 million to $4 billion in on-chain assets. It's now processing 8 million transactions daily, and it has one key catalyst that other networks increasingly cannot compete with. If you miss shifts like what I'm going to explain to you now, you're going to be someone who keeps relying on last cycle's investing framework, and you'll just keep watching as the real asymmetric opportunities continue to pop up outside of your portfolio. My name is Frank Hepworth. My 2021 investing thesis multiplied my portfolio 11x, and as a former regulatory attorney, I helped launch crypto ETFs on the Toronto Stock Exchange, and I wrote crypto listing policies for both exchanges and regulators. These days, I run a company called Yield School, which is a non-custodial crypto native consultancy that currently helps over 1,500 high net worth investors. Before I get into this, I just want to give you a quick note. This is my educational content based on my research. I don't know your situation, and primary market crypto investing could totally not be suitable for you. Use your head and remember that crypto wrecks investors who are emotional and inconsistent, and that is why most people should just stick with their S&P 500 style traditional advisor. Okay, so the network I'm going to break down here is Base. Base is Coinbase's layer 2 network built on top of the massive layer 1 network that we all know and love, Ethereum. Now, as a reminder, Coinbase is a company that has 100 million users, it has $3 billion in annual revenue, and critically, Coinbase is a company that runs off-chain. What Coinbase is a company that traders pay fees to so that it moves numbers back and forth on an Excel spreadsheet, and this activity is what we know as trading. Now, despite being an off-chain company that moves numbers on an Excel spreadsheet, Coinbase recognizes that the future of business is on-chain. So what they're doing is, instead of using that $3 billion in annual revenue on just internal operations, they are deploying it to build on-chain infrastructure on top of and within their layer 2 network Base. And here's the core of my thesis. The real asymmetric opportunities of 2026 and 2027 is going to be the infrastructure for on-chain business. And for you, rather than just rotating between Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, and Hype, these developments are really worth paying attention to. Base's developments specifically are accelerating as we speak, and I do expect Base to be the hotspot for on-chain asymmetric investment opportunities in the near to medium term. And a clear example of this is the on-chain infrastructure development of X402. I have been posting about this since May, but only within the last month has this really taken off. Built on Base, X402 is a piece of technology that allows AI agents, which, by the way, Andreessen Horowitz, one of the top VC firms in the world, thinks is going to be a $30 trillion market by 2030. X402 allows AI agents to send and receive payments to and from each other autonomously on-chain. So what X402 is plumbing that allows AI agents to operate their own services and engage economically with each other. And this is something that AI agents cannot do autonomously in Web 2 or the normal internet. And that is because fundamentally, an AI agent cannot open a bank account. And this is why Andreessen Horowitz says that crypto is likely to be the only solution for the $30 trillion AI agent market. In just the past 2 weeks, ending October 28th, Base's daily X402 transactions has soared from thousands to hundreds of thousands. And there is this convergence of low-cost Coinbase developer horsepower and AI integration that has caused protocols to start integrating X402 rapidly, and the related assets to those protocols to increase in value rapidly. Now, there are 3 reasons why advancements and opportunities are going to continue popping up on Base. The first is because of development cost. The second is institutional backing. And the latest is Base's focus on AI integrated services. Let me break down each of these. Signal 1, development cost. Here's what everybody misses about Base. It's not just another blockchain with cheap transactions and fast growth. And to be fair, with transaction costs at a third of a cent each, which is 99.4% cheaper than Ethereum, Base is a seriously cheap network. But more importantly, Base has the best developer environment, and that makes it unique. Base reached $4.8 billion in total value locked in under 18 months because builders can finally create applications on Base that make economic sense, and they can make them quickly. Coinbase has a $1 billion development team, and it has laid out more tooling and ecosystem support than any other network, and they have done this in just under 2 years. It was a Coinbase team member, Eric Reppel, who developed X402 as just an example. No other network has such a deep, world-class development team that is pushing out tooling that enables entrepreneurship and engineering at this speed. This is why Zora was built on Base. This is why Virtuals was built on Base. This is why Farcaster was built on Base. This is going to continue, and for you, this means that you can narrow your scope to just this ecosystem for a higher financial return for your attention. Now, let's talk about the fact that I'm not alone in this thesis. Signal 2, institutional infrastructure advantage. Backing up, you've probably had this frustration that I'm going to explain to you now. And I'm in this market all day. My business is in this. This is what I do. And even I experience this time to time. So imagine this. You find something in the market that's interesting, either from a report, some goofy influencer on TikTok, or maybe a WhatsApp group. It doesn't matter. You find this thing and it is promising, it is early stage, and it is worth a deeper look, but it's on some weird, obscure network. It's not listed on Coinbase, it's not listed on Kraken, and you can't even access it easily in the primary markets. So out of frustration, you just kind of forget about it, because really there's plenty else to look at in this market. That project that you just gave up on, no matter how good it looked in that TikTok video, that project is doomed from the start, because if you cannot access it, neither will anyone else. A project building on Base will never give a user or investor that frustration. Every project building on Base has a direct path to Coinbase's 100 million users. And what's more is that building on Base gets you access to Coinbase's funding, including Coinbase Ventures, which is the VC arm of Coinbase that gives funding, marketing visibility, and exchange access to projects building on Base. And because building on Base gets you such advantages so early, major funds like Paradigm, A16Z, and Pantera are actively backing Base ecosystem projects, because these are the institutions that drove last cycle's biggest winners. And this theme continues when Citigroup partners with Coinbase for digital asset payments, or Apollo Global partners with Coinbase for tokenization. They're not only validating Coinbase, they're validating the entire Base ecosystem. JP Morgan projected that a potential Base token, which is on the way, could open $34 billion in equity value for Coinbase. Google endorsed X402 by integrating it into their agent payments protocol. Visa calls it AI-era payment infrastructure. Binance integrated X402 payment rails. And what this institutional support and technological integration means for you is simple. When you look to the Base ecosystem, you are going to be positioning yourself amongst assets that are not going to die from lack of access or lack of support. Base as a network removes that risk. Now, the third reason why Base is the network to be paying attention to is the most critical. Base is targeting AI developers and bringing them on chain. Signal 3, AI created automated revenue. AI agents are already managing over $30 million autonomously on chain through protocols like Giza's Armor agent. Not only do agents like these save you from checking prices, claiming rewards, rebalancing, moving your assets across 6 different networks, and not only do they help you capitalize on the opportunities you miss because you sleep, you eat, and you do other things, these agents actually do a better job. They make more money and they make higher yield. AI agents on chain have had a pretty rocky development history since their introduction in 2024, but what we have seen in October is significant and a sign of the things to come. X402 transactions increased by 10,000% in a single month. Daily transactions peaked at 239,000 in one day, and the X402 assets related to these projects grew to a market cap of collectively 800 million within a week. Projects like Ping launched and saw 800% gains within days because of the product market fit behind X402. The market can sense X402 is solving real problems. Now, for you, you should expect AI agents to be the fastest expanding market for on-chain services that you can invest in. And you can also expect more sophisticated services to come to the market that can manage your on-chain portfolio, which in turn allows you to turn away from the crypto charts and focus on things that matter more, the high-level decisions, family, and work. This convergence of developer suitability, institutional backing, and AI service entrepreneurship results in a market and network that is going to be probably the highest return for your attention in this market. Now, where does this thesis that I'm laying out fit into a portfolio strategy, portfolio positioning framework? Here's how I'm approaching this opportunity myself. Now, I maintain the majority of my holdings in blue chips like Bitcoin and Ethereum always. These assets alone do 500% plus every 2 to 3 years because I play the liquidity cycles as I have done successfully for the past 2 cycles. This cycle, I'm up 7x since I was buying Bitcoin in the cycle lows of December 2022. And that's just an example. As I take profit out of these blue chips, I move that cash into yield-bearing protocols that are paying between 10% and 20% passively. And for a small 20% chunk of my portfolio, I'm consistently going into assets that have the potential to do 5x on a much shorter time horizon, usually about 3 to 6 months. And you can believe that the development happening on Base with X402 and on the network generally, these are producing opportunities that are suitable for that narrow 20% category that is purposed for high returning opportunities. Now, I am not going to be turning away from this shift, and I'm going to be paying attention. Now, what I'm looking for always is where the service on Base or the AI agent on Base is generating real on-chain revenue. I like to analyze transaction data, user adoption, and of course, just the hard revenue generated. These days, I do not look to white papers. I don't look to influencers. These are both marketing assets that are too easy to manipulate. I like to say I judge a restaurant on the food it makes, not the feel of the menu. Now, the reason why these AI agent plays, these base plays go into the lower 20% of my portfolio rather than the blue chip or the yield-bearing portion of my portfolio is because any asset building in this space, the AI agent space, this is cutting edge technology. Assets related to this can have gains of 100% in days, followed by a big retracement. I have to pay attention and manage these assets, that risk, and that is just part of the game. Now, to recap why Base is accelerating faster than any other network and how you can position for it, remember, Base processes 8 million daily transactions because it has 3 features other networks do not have: the lowest developer friction, institutional backing, and the greatest concentration of AI-focused protocols and technology like X402. These advantages compound because development begets more development. Literally, developers follow developers. Institutions scale their investments in this space, and AI agents are both investments and investment managers. This converges to position Base as the network to give you the highest financial return on your attention. And so conclusively, Base is a standout, but there is going to be more on-chain development, and I am going to continue putting out videos on them. This is why making your focus on-chain and your mindset crypto native is what is going to get you ahead of the investors who are just rotating between Bitcoin, ETH, and XRP on their Coinbase app. The video I'll put on the screen now goes into the advantages of having a crypto native consultant and even how to think like one. I would check that out next if you have the time now, or you could at least click to it, save it to your watch later list, and come back later. And if you found this interesting, more is going to come. Subscribe so you don't miss future breakdowns and valuable market insights. And the more subscribers I get, the more content I'm going to make. Simple as that. Thanks for watching me. Your portfolio will thank you for staying informed and being more crypto native. I'll see you in the next one.